Hi, my name is Rick Howell. I'm a TV guy, and this show is called Talk Back to Television. It's about the business of television, how we make the programs, how we distribute the programs, and mostly how we pay for the programs. Because if we can't pay for the shows, there's nothing to watch. Stay tuned. Good morning. This is Talk Back to Television, and I'm here with Tim Wahlers, who's the founder and CEO and chief cook and bottle washer and a whole lot of other things for a company called Quantum Radius. And he's going to tell us what that's all about. But first, he's been knocking around the business for a while. Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Actually, I'm president. My co-founder is CEO, Frank.
Oh, okay. You're just president. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Just president. So anyway, knocking around the industry. I can't go into too much depth, otherwise we'll spend the whole next day talking about it. So obviously with the gray hair, I've been around for a while. Started at the beginning of the digital video era back in MPEG 1 day. So prior to cable getting into digital video. So first encoding system back in 1991, 92. So anyway, I've been in this industry for a long time. Started a consulting services company that grew to 150 resources, video systems, mostly dealing with cable, satellite companies like Dish, EchoStar, DirecTV, mostly cable, Boulder, Denver area, 96 to 2006. And so grew that, sold it off to a European company. For the last 5 years, it's been trying to get Quantum Radius off the ground. Cable Labs, I met my co-founder partner. Is more on the packet cable side. I was the head of a project called Open Cable Software, OCAP, which ended up in roughly 20 million boxes. So I was the director of that project for a spell as an outsider. And my company provided a lot of resources developing the tools and the technology to the industry. So I know, digital video and streaming well.
Cool. All right. So now you're Quantum Radius, which is admittedly one of the coolest company names. What in the world does Quantum Radius do?
Well, I love the name quantum just because I have my academic background as a physics, nuclear engineer, electrical engineer. So, I did fusion research before I got into multimedia and software and digital video. What Quantum Radius does is, we looked at the advances in the industry. We looked at improvements in the network, 5G, 10G, 20, 100G to come, improvements in the display technology. Virtual reality is something I've always dabbled in, even way back into the 1990s. Quality of imagery, video processing, all these things have improved. But one of the holes we felt, one of the needed technologies was how do you deliver video and imaging from the outside world? I mean, VR headsets, Vision Pro from Apple came out, wonderful device. But most of these are kind of secluded from the outside world. The amount of work to develop that video tends to be localized, either in a headset or a hip pack or a tethered PC. And so we wondered what it would take to move that generation of display of video off the device to a server, to the edge, and to the cloud, and use the faster networks, and use the rampant use of GPUs and high performance devices that are available. So we could do much more complex apps. We could do much more fusion of synthetic and real video, from cameras on your head to cameras in the environment. We could do a lot more applications.
Okay, so now wait a minute. Let me try to take that to illogical conclusion. If all the heavy lifting on Vision Pro is done in that massive headset, if you're putting all that in the cloud, I could have that kind of capability in these eyeglasses. Is it that's simple?
That's one of our selling points is, that eventually, will people wear eyeglasses, size of Oakleys that have cameras and enough hardware to display, and then hopefully using resources off the device so that the weight of it, the power requirements and everything else are cut down so it's wearable. That's the biggest complaint about VR today is they're heavy. Vision Pro is heavy. It's front weighted. It's hard to wear for more than an hour for most users. And for some of the older ones by HoloLens by Microsoft, an investor in us, by the way, we closed the seed round a couple of years ago from an entity called Titletown Tech, which is a joint venture of the Green Bay Packers and Microsoft,
Wow.
believe it or
Okay.
not. So they led, and we had some smaller investors. So they've helped us to attain, get to these first couple of years. We're out looking for more money at the moment. But that technology, and it's used for esports or sports or simulation or training or remote participation, drone, autopiloting, all these types of remote firefighting. You tend to have to bring cameras from the outside into it. So how do you fuse that? If you had infinite time to focus on every single pixel that was impinging on your retina,
Yep.
if you had to make that image perfect, what would you want to do? Well, in order to get closer to that, we need to move that processing to the edge in the cloud. We need to take advantage of those GPUs. And the biggest impediment to that is latency.
Yeah.
To do that kind of processing, if I'm going to track the eyes, they don't want to cause nausea by being slow.
No, that's right. If I'm looking to the left, you want the thing to be looking to the left with me. Right?
30 frames a second, 60 frames a second. So you're talking, tens of milliseconds, 1 millisecond. Yep. When the cable operators think of latency, low latency, they'll even use the word ultra low latency. They're trying to get it down to 10 seconds from a minute.
Good luck with that.
We talk latency, our software runs in 1 millisecond. So you cannot add overhead if you truly want to bring in the edge and the cloud into that process.
Holy smokes. Okay. Now, admittedly, I'd be happy if I just had a pair of glasses that I could look at somebody and it would tell me who the hell I'm looking at, because they don't have a name tag. I have trouble remembering who they are from my 50 years in this business. But you actually are able to bring real, honest to God consumer products into something as small as my eyeglasses by putting all the processing in the cloud, right?
That'll be a necessary step to do that. Obviously, the technology, the Vision Pro headsets. There's other companies that Meta has spent tens of billions of dollars in VR for their Quest and Quest Pro. Company down in Florida, Magic Leap, has developed augmented reality. So there's a lot of people pouring a lot of money into it. So the technology is moving forward. So we do think that use of the edge in the cloud is a key aspect of that. So yes, we are shopping for pilot partners to work with us to integrate our technology. Obviously, investment is a part of that as well too. Vision Pro is one of the first that truly uses that eye tracking. Cameras pointed at the eye. What am I looking at? And using that information, how do I make the image look the best for what I'm looking at? Only a small part of your eye is truly what you see at. If I know where you're looking, there's a lot of things I can do to reduce bandwidth and bit rate, to improve latency, and to also make the experience better, whether it's highlighting things. If I'm driving a car, I want to know where pedestrians are. I want to know vehicles, if I can actually analyze that in real time and warn me of things, or remind me of the names of people I'm talking to in the environment, or even I talk about a football game. You're on the sidelines. Can I walk down and watch a play from the line of scrimmage, watch it from the end zone, and be a part of the immerse myself in the action, defense type applications, or medical is one of the areas that's interesting. There's ability to do remote surgery. So all these types of applications are going to require opening access to the device to the outside world in real time.
The serious plumbing behind it that makes it work. Exactly. How do people get involved with it? You say you're looking for partners and applications and investors. What do we do if we want to come and play?
Well, quantumradius.com has a website, so my contact information is on there. So reach out if you're curious and interested. We do have some prototype demo work that we've done. We've developed initial software using the gaming development environment called Unreal.
Right.
People unfamiliar with that. That's by Epic. It's what's used to develop the application Fortnite. It's become one of the more friendly environments for developing 3D and VR applications. The only competitor to it probably is Unity, which is favored by Microsoft and a few others as well too. So we've developed a plugin for Unreal, and it helps us to move the processing, or at least split the processing between the VR headset local resources,
Yep.
maybe local PC and the edge in the cloud dynamically. So, and using AI, ML to do that.
Boy, I like that a whole lot. All right, because I got to tell you, I am not going to be one who's going to be wearing, you know, the dish drainer on my face. It's just too much. It's just
it is hard, and it's you know, it's just sitting in the what Apple's done well. And I don't want to talk up their product, like you say, it's eye tracking, but I mean, they put the view of your eyes on the outside, and I don't know if I like that, but it does at least make other people you're interacting with feel like you're talking to them rather than behind a wall.
Yep.
But it does bring the image of the world. Like, you know, I was in their store and I could see people walking around, and it's faint and it's behind. So I feel like I'm in the environment where if I'm not using you know, the cameras, an older view. Pre-camera, pre-vision pro was augmented reality. We're actually seeing through the lenses, and it's portraying these usually simulated things on top of it. For many reasons, the camera approach is better. I can improve your vision, you know, as we all get older. I can take you know, work around macular degeneration or other types of eye issues. I can improve lighting. I can do all kinds of things to improve the sight. There's even a company that's looking into contact lenses that can display.
I see.
So
I
anyway,
think we're
this
going to
stuff
get
is
there.
marching forward.
All right, and we're only going to get there if people can get all the processing power out of the device, out of the thing I'm wearing, and get it up onto the cloud. So that is your secret sauce, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 50 years, 100 years. Some people say that people have talked about servers, remote servers, and the cloud kind of became the term, you know, 20 years ago. And some people resist that. But yes, the infinite power of the cloud is what's going to open up VR, we feel, and we feel we're a part of that.
I like that. Well, listen, Tim Wahlers from Quantum Radius, thank you for the education. Thank you for your time, sir. And I think that my viewers will want to pay attention and see what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, like it's a complex topic. Hopefully I haven't gone too deep into the weeds. My partner handles the technology better than I do. So, but anyway, I do have a technology background, and it's fascinating to me. So hopefully it's interesting to others. Like I mentioned, quantumradius.com if you want to find me on the web, and happy to talk to anybody.
Sounds like a plan, bud. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.